Woo! All right. What's going on, party people? This your man Grip. I got a serious story to tell y'all today. So this is something that I was never. I'm not prepared for, and these kind of things you don't get prepared for through any training because a lot of the training they don't talk to you about a lot of the real life situations and what you could face when you're sitting there at the table, and especially with a loan application. So today I had a loan application at 9 a.m. Roll up, the gentleman's not there. I call him, he doesn't answer back. I ride all the way back home. He calls me up and says, "Hey, I'm here. I thought it was at 10." I was like, "Okay, missing communication." But I did confirm with him at 9, and I told him it was at 9. So he might have got something confused, and I think I understand later on why. Somewhere he got something confused. So I roll on back over there, show up, sit him down with the paperwork, and then he started having some issues with the paperwork because it was asking him for his credit card information for the appraisal. And he's like, "Man, that's already been paid for. Why I gotta pay for it?" I'm like, "Okay." He said, "Just hold that out." So we set that off to the side. Then he looks at the other paperwork and he's like, "Okay, something ain't right here, man. Something ain't right." It's like something is just messed up. I'm like, "Well, sir, this is what they gave me and everything." He's like, "Okay." So now I said, "If you feel you need to call somebody, feel free to call them." So he calls somebody and the person doesn't pick up. Then he calls another person, that person doesn't pick up. Then he calls the second person back again, they pick up, talking to him, start getting things squared away, like, "Oh, okay, got it. All right." So we start signing the paperwork, but then the first person calls. Now here's where it gets interesting. The first person was a different loan company. I'm not going to say the loan company's name, but we'll just say ABC Loan Company is the first company, and then the one I'm with is 123 Loan Company. So ABC Loan Company calls him and he starts talking with them, and they're like, "What do you mean a notary is there? We didn't send a notary." He's like, "Well, there's a notary here with paperwork, and it's from 123." He said, "No, we're not affiliated with them. We're two different companies. No, tell the notary to leave your house now. Get that notary out of your house and don't sign those papers." This is what I'm hearing the guy say. And I always ask the customer to put the stuff on speaker so I can know what's going on. And the guy looking at me like, "What in the world is going on here?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Find out that that's a different loan company. And apparently that company, the first company, ABC Loan Company, was already getting him set up for closing. So here he is a few days away from closing, but he's doing another loan application. Come to find out, the gentleman got some things confused, which is probably why he had 10 o'clock as the time versus 9 o'clock. So he thought the two different loan companies was one and the same somehow. I get on the phone immediately, and I'm glad the signing company put the loan company's phone number in the order, because sometimes on signing order you don't see that. You don't see the contact information for the loan officer. And man, I'm glad they had it. So I called the loan officer and told him what's going on, and he's like, "Okay, wait a minute, we don't know nothing about this here." So he talks to the guy. He's like, "Remember, sir, we had told you we're not the same company." Next thing I know, the loan officers, I got my phones, and I got his phone and my phone. This will be his phone, my phone, on speaker, and the loan officers are sitting here going at each other. They going at one loan officer is like basically accusing one of being a crook. The other one is like, "Hey, they don't need to be doing all that." And I'm sitting here, and then the first loan officer from ABC starts accusing me of trying to convince the gentleman to sign the documents, and starts fussing at me. And I'm like, I had to put him in his place. I'm like, "Hey, hold on there, little fella." And I said it just like that. I said, "Hold on there, little fella. I am not doing that. That is unauthorized practice of law. I am not allowed to do that." I don't know if it's for loan application, but it sounded good to say. And I said, "No, I ain't doing it." I said, "So don't accuse me of something that I'm not doing. I'm here to support him, and I can't move and leave until he tells me to leave. Not because you want him to tell me to leave. If he doesn't want to sign these papers, then I'm out. If he wants to sign them, then I'm staying." So now I also got the other loan officer for who sent me out there on speaker who can hear all of this. Hold on, got an order that just came in, and I can't do that because I'm already booked at 2 o'clock. And then this here, another order came in. All right, what is this? The 14th. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm like, so the one came in, I can't do because I'm booked at 2 o'clock today. The 14th, it's a partial claim $20 one. I'll say yes to that at 9 o'clock and everything. I'll probably get that. So let me just go on and throw that on my calendar real quick, so I don't partial claim. All right, so that way I know if I don't get it, take it off. But I'm sitting here like, whoa, what the heck is going on? So this here, so here's the thing. If you're ever in that kind of situation, you have to stay calm as a notary. You're there to support that client. And I'm sitting here like, I got you, sir. You just tell me what you want me to do. Now, back to the loan officer, I could put him in his place. And it wasn't that I was trying to do that, but I had to because he was accusing me of something that was very, very wrong. And I ain't got time to be getting in trouble. And then he backed down and said, you know what, you're right. My apologies for accusing you of that. I said, thank you. So we got that squared away. And I told him, I said, because if things were reversed, and if I was here with your client that you sent me out who had dealing with somebody else, I would give you that same respect and I would give you the same support. And I would stay here until your client that you sent me out to told me to leave. So I said, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. And then he realized, he's like, you know what, you're right. You're just a notary. My bad. My apologies. I said, all right, we cool then. So I ended up having to leave. The guy was like, I'm not sure of this. I'm not sure of that. And the gentleman seemed like he wasn't aware of certain things because because when it all was said down, he just got things confused. But here's how you handle it as a notary. You stay calm. You don't freak out. This wasn't a thing of calling the signing company. This was such an emergency, I had to call straight to the title company. Now, if the signing company hadn't given me the information for the title company, for the lender, then I would have called them and said, hey, get me this information, or have them call me. But since I had it, I went straight there, and I just would have took any go from the signing company, because some signing company like, you can't call them. It's like, look, this is an emergency. Well, except for one company, I can't do that with. I have to call them, and I already know that. And they're real good at getting into the people, contact with the title company or the lender and all that. But other than that, I had to do what I had to do. So these are the kind of things that you can run into, and this is just with a loan application. And the gentleman, he was sitting there looking for me to give him some advice. I said, I can't give you any advice. I can't tell you what to do or not to do. I said, all I'm here to do is just support you. So you tell me how you want to roll. If you say, hey, stay, I'm going to fill this out. If you say leave, I'm like, deuces. Whichever one you want to go to and everything. So he said he wanted me to leave. He wanted me to leave the loan application there with him so he can review all the paperwork and try to figure out which direction he wanted to go. Because apparently the second one that I was there with was offering him a better deal. The first one, I guess, just flat out wasn't as good as deal as the second one. So now he's like, I'm almost at closing with one, but the second one is offering me a better deal and could possibly close within a week and a half. Which one do I go with? So that's a decision for that guy to make. You as a notary have to be there to support them and to keep them calm and to show poise and not freak out. Even if, unfortunately, my signing wasn't until 2. This is 12/14 when I'm doing this. I already printed my documents out. But nonetheless, you still got to have poise, and you still got to have some common sense about yourself and like, okay, this is a tight situation. I got to figure out a way to keep things calm. Stand up for myself, not be disrespectful, but I'm here to support the signer, whether it's a loan application or a refi or whatever. And the title company or the lender and the signing company that you have been contracted to will appreciate that. That's what you have to do. That's what I did today. Everything worked out. I'll get whatever trip fees I'm supposed to get, and boom. And then because see, there's a lot of notaries that walk out, and that's the thing. Because see, if you walk out on the deal, you're like, okay, I'm gonna buy. Y'all figure it out later. No, you don't do that. That's gonna make you look bad and get you blacklisted. And then the company was like, if it turns around, he wants to go, we'll call you and get you to go back out there. I said, no problem. You just let me know what you need done. That's how you handle it. All right. So let me eat my next muscadine grape and get ready to go to these. Go prep these docs and then go on to this closing at 2. Then I got one at 4. And today was a day. I'm serious. I mean, it wasn't no joke. So if you got any questions or comments about what I said and any other things you can think of about how I should have handled it or what I could have did, or throw them in the comment section, I'll be glad to answer them. All right, talk to y'all later. Peace.